The budget documents carry the headline, "A plan is working." But in a departure from the plan, this budget acknowledges, if somewhat implicitly, that the rewards from our recent economic growth performance have not been enjoyed by a large proportion of the community. The redistribution package for children in poorest families, about $790 million over the next 4 years, is a mixture of benefit and childcare subsidy increases. Working for families changes, but they don't come into effect until April next year, and are also accompanied by more stringent work conditions, work criteria, with beneficiaries now expected to work 20 hours a week once their youngest child turns 3. However, the economic foundations of this budget are at best wobbly, at worst fragile. A critical underpinning assumption is a strong resurgence in global dairy prices over the next 12 to 18 months, so that by the end of 2016, dairy prices are 60% higher than they are now. We suggest this is either a brave or a foolish assumption. Without such a dairy price recovery, the forecasts are somewhat muted in terms of growth and job growth and economic activity. Indeed, even the budget's central or main forecast have a slowing in the outlook, with the 3.3% growth that we just experienced last year as good as it gets. In addition, there is an assumption that inwards migration slows down and that eases the pressure on house prices, and however that doesn't mean much in the Treasury's forecast anyway in terms of interest rates or exchange rates for either exporters or businesses. The one plus from this budget, though, is that we can now take away our irrational focus on the budget surplus. We've finally got past that. We need to get past that. Yes, there's not a surplus this year, but the Minister admitted that in past years' budget estimates have missed surplus targets by about $1 billion either way. So the surplus that's expected in the coming year of $176 million isn't really much to talk about, and let's not talk about it because it's not that important. It's not the story, and rightly so. The story is, or part of the story that should be worrying us, is this ongoing and increasing imbalance in the current account. We've got a current account deficit that is forecast to grow to 5% of GDP in the out years. That's where the story lies, and that goes through in terms of national debt growing from now 65% of our annual GDP to 75% of our GDP in the out years of the forecast. So while some might claim that the plan is working, others might question just what really is the plan. And looking through the budget and looking through the budget documents, one hesitates to venture that the plan really is something around just minimising government's involvement. There's $1 billion every year over the forecast period for new operating spend. Once you take away the half of that $1 billion which is needed just to keep health, education and superannuation spending rolling in terms of population growth, that doesn't leave much for new initiatives or new spend. And I think that's what the plan is for this government, is to minimise the ability to actually do anything new, so the outlook, not surprisingly, is more of the same. Interestingly though, there is in the new operating spend a $2.5 billion allowance in the 2017-2018 year for tax cuts. So the plan, bluntly, is tax cuts in the future and not much else. And so the budget, while they may claim the plan is working, one still remains with the question is, what is the plan? Is this really as good as it gets?